All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and welcome everyone to this meeting of the Jersey Village City Council for Monday, April 14th, 2025. The time is now 7:03 p.m. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum of council present?
Yes, sir, we do.
Great. Thank you very much. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. I need to make sure I got everything ready here. One moment. It's my last full meeting. They're going to make fun. They're going to mess with me the whole way. Hold on one second. Sorry. Pastor, I don't have my information in front of me, but if you would like to lead us in prayer and Pledge of Allegiance, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Warren, the City Council, and the residents of this blessed city. Let's go to God in prayer. Holy Father, we thank you so much for the blessed opportunity you've given us to experience this new day. Thank you so much for your hand of protection and provision upon each of our lives. And I thank you for the favor that you've rested upon this blessed city, the city of Jersey Village. Thank you for its leadership, our mayor and the council and city officials. And I do ask that you continue to endow them with your wisdom and your discernment as they lead the great people of this city. I ask that you would continue to protect them, dear Father, and protect the residents of this great community. Draw us closer to you, that we may ever be grateful for the opportunities which you've given us, that we might leave a lasting legacy to the generations that are to come. And we look to you, Father, for all guidance, that we might be in the center of your will in all that we do. It is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Pastor. Okay, next up we have presentation of Police Department Employee of the 2025 First Quarter Award by Stephanie Otto, Commander of the Jeremy E. Ray American Legion Post 324.
Hey, good evening. How are y'all? Each quarter, the American Legion Post 324 Jersey Village Police Department Employee of the Quarter Selection Committee meet to review a list of candidates selected by their peers. This is in no way a simple task, as all employees of the police department are outstanding individuals that serve a purpose greater than themselves. For the first quarter of 2025, the American Legion selection of the officer quarter is Officer Isaac Gonzalez. Officer Gonzalez has shown a high level of professionalism, dedication, and productivity. He loves his job, and his work performance shows it. We thank you for your service and dedication to this department and our community. All those attributes work together to ensure the Jersey Village Police Department works smoothly and provides our residents peace of mind, and it makes Jersey Village a destination community. There were several other officers nominated for this quarter: Officer Morrow, Officer Torres, and Officer Wise. We thank you for all your continued performance and dedication to our community. Thank y'all.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Next, we move to citizen comments. Citizens who have signed a card and wish to speak to the City Council will be heard at this time in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Unless the subject matter of the comment is on the agenda, the city staff and city council members are prevented from discussing the subject and may respond only with statements of factual information or existing policy. Citizens are limited to 5 minutes for their comments to the City Council. The first comment card I have is from Brian McCauley.
All right, I appreciate it. I get to go first. All right. Last time we met, I came up here with an idea about crowdfunding for the pool. The idea is starting to develop. Come up with a name for the venture. I'm calling it the Dive-In Jersey Village Project. We also talked to another local nonprofit to see if we could kind of piggyback off of them to try to raise the money. Unfortunately, that wouldn't work out. But I am in the process of forming a nonprofit, a 501c3, that we can start to move forward with this project. So all that to say, this is either going to work really well or it's going to burn out in flames. I'm not sure which is going to happen yet. But all that to say, my ask for you guys is to talk about it. Talk to your neighbors. This is for the citizens. My plan is to have an informational meeting for those who are interested in participating, hopefully in a week or so. So working on that. But keep an eye out. Essentially, the idea is targeting residents for a $500,000 donation per household, something along those lines. Businesses, maybe $5,000 to $10,000, sponsorships, et cetera. So the goal is to maybe raise somewhere between $3 to $5 million. That's my target. That should give us a pretty good amount of funds to do something with it. So keep that in mind. One of the things I did in research was that, looking at LendingTree and some other sources online, a community that has a pool, it typically affects the value of the citizens' home somewhere between 3 and 15%, depending on what part of the country you're on. Even if we go with the low portion of that, 3% based on the average household value in Jersey Village, we're talking about an $8,000 swing in the value of your home just because of that. So in this instance, we don't have one, so think of that as, hey, our property values may go down at minimum $8,000 because of that. So again, my reason for doing this is I want to try to get something started as quickly as possible. We don't have the time to wait another 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I'm part of the swim team too, so there's concerns about the children being able to do swim team in a more convenient way than having to go to another neighborhood to do that. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'll bring updates as I have them, and hopefully this will be a project that as a community we can kind of do together and will work really well. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Brian. The next comment card
Can I make a comment really quick on that?
Of course, yes.
I did, a long time ago, create a nonprofit called JV Grows, specifically for Jersey Village. And I'm looking it up right now to make sure it's active, but you're welcome to use that nonprofit if you'd like. It's already ready to go.
Yep. Very pertinent. Thank you. The next comment card I have is from Eric A. Now.
Good evening. Eric Anal, 15601 Singapore Lane. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, I want to give kudos to the Parks and Recreation Department for putting on a fantastic 69th year celebration for Founders Day here in Jersey Village. It was a great event with excellent turnout, a large number of booths, terrific and tasty food trucks, wonderful music, and an interactive DJ that kept everyone engaged. And of course, it was all topped off by an excellent fireworks show. It really showcased the sense of community we have here in Jersey Village. So thank you to everyone involved in making that event a success. Next, I wanted to offer a few comments on some of the items on tonight's agenda. I'm glad to see the city moving forward with awarding a contract to street panel replacements and concrete repairs, referenced in regular agenda item number 2. Keeping our sidewalks level and in good condition not only improves safety, but also contributes to the overall appearance of the city. I did notice the wide range in bid pricing, and I hope there will be an emphasis on active monitoring during the project to ensure quality standards are maintained, especially since we go with the lowest bidder. Additionally, I think it's a smart move by the city to elevate internal staff into new roles, as outlined in regular agenda item number 4, rather than continuing to contract out certain services at higher costs. Promoting from within is key to retaining talented staff and building institutional knowledge. Finally, I'd like to bring forward a suggestion to the city to consider. For a while, the Jersey Village Women's Group has been putting together welcome packets that were delivered to new residents moving into Jersey Village each quarter. My understanding is that this program has recently been discontinued. I'm not sure if that was due to lack of support, feedback, or volunteers. My wife, Kimberly, has been helping put those packets together and delivering them to new residents' homes. I believe programs like that are an excellent way to get new residents engaged with our community right from the start. It's also a fantastic opportunity to share information about how the city operates, what services are available, and how residents can get connected. I'd encourage the city to look at ways to revive or reimagine that type of program, whether through city resources, partnerships with local groups, or volunteer-driven efforts. Lastly, because I think it really benefits everyone in the long run. Lastly, I want to take a moment to recognize both Mayor Bobby Warren and Councilwoman Sherry Shepard as they step down with the expiration of their terms. I appreciate their service and dedication to Jersey Village over the years. It's clear that both have contributed their time and energy towards making the city a better place, and I want to say thank you for your dedication. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Eric. The next comment card I have is from Ben Blumenthal.
Good evening. My name is Ben Blumenthal, and I reside at 15913 Lakeview Drive. At last month's meeting, I shared my dismay at Council's decision to destroy the pool, after which Mayor Warren repeatedly said that the pool was losing about 5 inches of water per day due to a crack in the pool. He implied that that was the main reason for destruction and that you don't need to have an independent leak test to prove that. Therefore, I have 4 questions from Mayor and the City Manager that I would like answered as statements of fact. First, how was the 5 inches loss per day determined?
By observation.
Like a test, or like how is it actually measured?
There's a certain amount of water put in there, and at the end of the day, it changes. So unless anyone else on city staff has a more detailed answer, I think that's pretty self-evident.
Sorry, I can provide some insight. So the staff can conduct a water loss audit. Typically what that means is you measure your water level, and then 24 hours you remeasure the water level and you factor in evaporation. You use the conditions of the weather. You do that for 24 hours while the equipment is running, and then you do it while the equipment is not operating as well, and you conduct that water loss audit. Also, we typically fill the pool with water weekly. Typically, we'll run it's called the fill line. We'll run the fill line for 5 to 10 minutes each week, and then we log that. And we noticed that we had to run the fill line for a good 20 to 25 minutes, and then we had to do it an additional time each week. That caused us to start the investigation for our water loss. And then the water loss audit did show that we were losing water while the pool was operating, which means you usually have a malfunction in the operating system or the pipeline system, and we were also losing water without the equipment operating as well.
So are there records or some sort of signed log or something like that of these tests and runs, or is that available publicly?
Like I said, I'm not sure if there's a log kept in our hydro apps right now.
Okay. So along this train of thought, I submitted a public information request to the City Secretary, Courtney Rutherford, for the pool's water meter data, and that was provided by her, and that was a nice thing to do. The water meter serves the splash pad, the pool, and the restrooms, and the bathhouse and basketball courts. I asked specifically to make sure that if the pool needed to be filled, that this was in fact the meter that would come through, and that was verified. So then, just using elementary math, I determined the amount of water lost, assuming the pool was the only fixture connected to this meter. Therefore, this is the maximum loss for the pool from the water meter, as the other fixtures consume water too, especially the splash pad. I then pulled the rainfall data from the Harris Flood Warning System gauge at Lakeview and White Oak Bayou. Adding the rainfall and the water meter data together gives a total maximum loss possible for the pool. Over the past 2 years, the maximum month daily average loss was in March 2024 at 1.54 inches, and at a cost of about $2,700, assuming a FY24 residential rate. However, because a leak is going to be independent of evaporation, splash pad use, restrooms, and swimmers, the best estimate for a leak contribution is going to be in the off-season. And so during the off-season, the data shows that you only lose about a quarter-inch water per day, which is only about $450 per month, assuming the FY24 residential rate. So I've done this analysis. I'll email all of y'all the Excel sheet. My civil engineering brother checked the math. I mean, I'm pretty good at math myself. It's elementary volume divided by area equals inches. And so the questions I have is, if, there's a leak, why is it 20 times less than what's been quoted by the city? And so that's why I'd like to see, if there's any logs or records for how this leak test was done, or any sort of information on that. And so then the question becomes, how can we reconcile these two things? And again, why wasn't a $5,000 independent leak test run, especially in light of this water meter data? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So kind of in summary, although not up to modern code, the pool's turnover rate of 13 hours was still grandfathered in, and there was no proven water quality concerns. I was there 3 times a week last summer and never was concerned about the water quality for myself or my kids. If there was a leak, it appears to be significantly less than suggested by the city. Therefore, I am concerned about the due diligence that was, maybe not done to decide if we really needed to destroy something that, could have limped on for another year or two before we found a replacement. So whichever side of the bond you're on, kind of independent of this, I just don't think we should have destroyed it without, it seems like there's some issues here on the due diligence side. So thank you.
Sure, thank you. We will take a look. Absolutely send us the information you've got. We'll take a look at it, because I'm very much interested to see how that was calculated as well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, the last comment card I have is Kimberly A. now.
My name is Kimberly Annell, and I live at 15601 Singapore Lane. As my 43rd installment, since election season is upon us, I'm summarizing 4 prior installments regarding the Jersey Village municipal governmental functions under the city charter, the state of Texas, and federal laws. In 1956, Leonard Lee was notified that the city of Houston was going to annex Jersey Village. So Lee presented a petition to all residents who signed, resulting in the incorporation as the municipality effective April 16th. Lee became our first mayor, calling the first city council meeting to order on June 18th, 1956. Jersey Village is a city that operates as a home rule charter as adopted by electors and council in 1986, with amendments over the years. The Municipal Code Section 1.02 explains the form of government as a council manager and is pursuant to provisions and limitations of the U.S. Constitution, laws of the state of Texas, and by the Charter, as all powers of the city shall be vested in and exercised by an elective city council. The council shall enact ordinances, adopt budgets, determine policies, appoint the city manager, and execute other powers and duties as prescribed in the charter. To register for the unpaid position on Jersey Village City Council, the person must be a resident of and have lived continuously in the city for not less than 1 year prior to the election, be qualified to vote in city elections, and not be in arrears of paying city taxes. The council shall be composed of a mayor and 5 other council members serving a term of 2 years. Filled by majority vote, the council places 1, 4, and 5 are elected on even-numbered years, while places 2 and 3, as well as the mayor, on odd-numbered years. The term limitations are no more than 3 consecutive two-year terms as mayor, nor more than 4 consecutive two-year terms as council member, or a combination of mayor-council member. The charter further authorizes the council to elect a mayor pro tem, which serves if the mayor is unavailable, yet maintains the right of voting as typical of council, while the mayor can only break a tied vote. Mayor and council are not allowed to instruct or request the city manager to appoint to or remove from office or employment any person. This keeps politics and overreaching out of the daily functions of the city's departments and also enables full control over development of our zoned city. Procedures for governmental meetings include the Open Meetings Act, as it requires meetings of governmental bodies to be open to the public except for expressly authorized closed or executive sessions, and to be preceded by public notice of the time, place, and subject matter of the meeting. In order for a closed meeting to occur, an agenda is also made available, and the quorum open meeting is begun with the presiding officer, such as the mayor, publicly advising of the closed meeting and detailing subchapter D legal reasons, such as consulting with the city attorney, deliberations of real property, personnel matters, and economic development negotiations. Only members of the governmental body and necessary officers and employees are allowed in closed meetings. A governmental body may adopt reasonable rules regarding the public's right to address council as to the subjects of the meeting, impose time limits, and prevent disruptions of the meeting. A single public comment period is at the beginning of an open meeting to address items on the agenda, though council may but is not required to respond. If the public raises a non-agenda item, Section 551.042 of the Act still applies to limit response comments about non-agenda items. Our small town of nearly 8,000 residents in less than 4 square miles not only includes multiple generations of families which continue to live just down the street from each other, it also includes newer homeowners and renters. Once we sign that residential title or lease, we all become Jersey Villagers. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay, those are all of the comment cards I have. That brings us to the city manager's report. Austin, please.
Mayor and councilors, the report is in front of you. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions from council for the city manager? Okay, seeing none, we will move on down the agenda to the consent agenda. Does any member of council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda for consideration during the regular agenda? If there's none, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda at this time.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as is.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor? All of those against? Any abstentions? The consent agenda passes unanimously. That brings us to the regular agenda. Item G1, consider resolution number 2025-25, authorizing the city manager to proceed with the purchase of law enforcement equipment using funding from the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority grant, including a local match commitment. Danny Keel, Chief of Police, or his representative.
Thank you. Greeting, Mr. Mayor and City Council. November 2024, City Council approved a resolution authorizing the Jersey Village Police Department to apply for the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority grant. At the time of the application, the department intended to use the funding to offset the cost of the existing Flock license plate reader camera contract. However, during the grant process, it was determined that NVCPA funds cannot be applied towards existing contractual obligations. As a result, the department was deemed ineligible to use the grant for the flock system. Despite this limitation, the department was informed that the grant funding could still be used if awarded for the purchase of new equipment focused on the prevention and recovery of stolen property related to vehicle thefts, burglary of motor vehicles, catalytic converter thefts, and thefts of motor vehicle parts. The Jersey Village Police Department was subsequently awarded $130,000 in NVCPA grant funds. With the City Council's approval, the department proposes to allocate this funding towards following crime prevention and investigative tools. The Star Chase tagging system, we want to outfit 6 patrol vehicles with Star Chase technologies. The system allows officers to launch a GPS tracking tag from a patrol unit and attach it to a suspect vehicle, particularly in cases of stolen or evasive vehicles. The goal is safely monitor and recover vehicles without engaging in high-risk pursuits. We'd also like to purchase 4 more drone units. The department currently operates 2 drones but lacks the capacity for 24/7 coverage. Adding additional drones will enable continuous drone availability, significantly improving response time, suspect apprehension, and overall situational awareness during property crimes investigations. The final thing we are asking for is the CellHawk investigative software. CellHawk is an advanced digital evidence analysis tool that integrates with the department's existing Leads Online platform, enables investigators to analyze cell phone data to identify suspects, link criminal activity across multiple cases, and establish connection between individuals involved in property crimes. The total cost for the equipment is $124,504. The NVCPA grant requires a 20% total match with amounts to $20,917 to be covered by the city. The grant further stipulates that the city must purchase the equipment upon confirmation of equipment receipt. The NVCPA will reimburse the city $104,587 of the total expense. This request seeks City Council's approval to proceed with the outline equipment purchases and fill the match requirements using NVCPA funds.
Great, thank you. Discussion amongst council on this item.
I had a question. I wanted to point out actually, when reading through this, decided to look up on YouTube some interesting videos about this Star Chase GPS tagging system. First off, it's really, really cool. But I was just curious, Lieutenant Wells, do you happen to recall what this is frequently referred to as? I just wanted to see if you could refresh my memory on that.
Through social media? A booty dart?
Could you repeat that for everybody? We didn't all hear here.
A booty dart.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was on the record for his time up here tonight. Yeah, a booty dart. It's called a booty dart. No, it's called a booty dart because, guys, it's on the front of the police vehicle. They come up behind someone, like in a chase situation. They deploy it. It attaches to the vehicle through some type of adhesive, it's a heated type of adhesive, and they don't have to chase the car anymore. It's actually really, really cool. It reminded me of Batman when I was a kid, and so that's what it really sparked my interest. I just wanted to see if I could make you say that today.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Who wrote the grant?
I did.
Thank you. Congratulations.
It would have been great to have used this on Flock. My question is, these items, I'm assuming we were looking to purchase them anyway later on, maybe this budget year or some other time, if they weren't part of the grant?
Yes, sir.
I think the way it was explained to me is that it's just the grant would pay for it this way, and the other funds would just be attributed in a different way.
Right. It's
because of the rules.
Instead of X, we get
totally
Y.
Understand why. I think it's great.
No, I do too. I do have a fiscal question that I think it's appropriate time. Instead of general fund, is it possible to use crime control and prevention funds for these items?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Well, I think despite the funny name, I think the most important thing is that obviously any situation where you can reduce the potential risk to the citizenry at large and to our officers by engaging in a high-speed chase to be able to still keep track of somebody and deal with them at a later time, I think that's a That's pretty fantastic. It just reminds us how far technology's come to be able to help us provide additional tools to our law enforcement officers. So, any further questions or discussion from council members? All right. Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate it. I would entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-25.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All of those against? Any abstentions? The resolution passes unanimously. Okay, that brings us to item G2. Consider, hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I got. Consider resolution number 2025-26, awarding the bid and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for a street panel replacement project. Robert Bassford, Assistant City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On April 3rd, city staff received bid documents for the street and sidewalk panel replacement program. 6 responsive bids were received for the project. Unit pricing for on-call concrete is listed on page 2 of the attached Exhibit B. The initial scope includes the removal and replacement of approximately 3,000 square feet of pavement at Jersey Drive and Meadow Lane, and 1,100 square feet at Hawaii Lane and Tenbury. SAS Concrete submitted the lowest responsible bid at $54,900, which covered the replacement of street panels at Jersey Drive and Meadow Lane, as well as Hawaii and Tenbury. In addition, the on-call services at a predetermined unit price will be used to complete sidewalk repairs, ADA wheelchair ramp improvements, and pavement injections at staff-identified work sites. A map outlining them is attached as Exhibit C. Staff has verified the contractor qualifications and references and found them to be satisfactory, and this work will be funded from the 2025 capital improvement budget, which had $250,000 for street panel replacement and $100,000 for sidewalk improvements. The wide range in bid responses can likely be attributed to differences in each contractor's operating costs, workload capacity, material sourcing, and equipment availability. Additionally, some bidders may have factored in a higher overhead, contingency costs, or subcontractor pricing, while others may have been more competitive based on their existing presence in the area or ability to mobilize quickly. This will be a 3-year contract with 2 optional 1-year renewals subject to annual appropriations. The city standards contract provisions for termination for convenience or default will apply, and public works staff worked with the city secretary and city attorney to ensure compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local procurement requirements. And a recommended action is to approve Resolution 2025-26.
Okay. Discussion amongst council on this item.
Yeah, I had a question. So I see that you said the bid can be attributed for a difference of the contractor's operating costs, workload capacity, material sourcing, and equipment availability. But 3 times as much feels like a really big. Usually when we look at bids, they're like within 10 grand. And so for one to go from 50,000 to 175 seems really big. Is there? I don't know what you have at your disposal on the fly, but can you explain it a little bit more? So I just don't want to get us backed into a corner for somebody who really underbid.
Yeah, so essentially when we first got these bid results back, we quickly met to discuss the discrepancies, and we had some general concerns. Edward, our street super, was asked to vet this company thoroughly. We also had a concern that they may have realized that they cannot honor these prices, but we were able to call some of the contractors that they have worked with and received high reviews, and we confirmed that they're capable of completing the job. It looks to be as some of the other larger contractors have priced in a subcontract markup as well. So that was
we basically cut out a middleman, kind of.
Absolutely, but some of the reputable companies that have worked with SAS Concrete have given them good reviews, such as MC Squared, and they did Seattle. So yes, we were concerned, and we weren't initially planning to go with the low bid, but after we did our reference checks and made a handful of phone calls, we felt comfortable with this.
Thank you.
Did they have contingency costs included in their proposal?
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand. Like, I don't think so, no. They do. I don't see that in their bid. I know their on-call concrete services is for scope outside of what was initially proposed. So, yeah, and we could do a change order if needed up to 25%.
Can you repeat that? What did you just say?
Said we could do a change order for up to 25%, but their on-call concrete services should cover that.
I hope you can understand, I think, why some of us might be a little concerned considering what the citizen complaints, the resident complaints from the streets, Australia, am I getting it? Congo, sorry, with Congo. I think that's just my concern, but I also understand, like you're saying, you guys did thoroughly vet this. I don't know.
We're, obviously, the part of the reassurance we get is the performance bond. Did we double check with? I don't know if there's any way to double check with the surety to ensure that they know what they're getting into.
Yeah, I'll verify that was been completed or will be completed before we move forward.
Okay.
Wait, you have verified or you haven't yet?
I will verify that it has or it will be completed before we execute the contract.
And obviously, I assume the sureties, just so we kind of have full information on exactly what happens, do they receive a copy of the contract before it's executed? In other words, is there some sort of way of making sure that on paper that the surety, whatever the bond covers, is clearly indicated by all of the paperwork that's being signed off on?
So when we, for any contract that we do, when we put everything together, we always make sure that we get the bonds and everything back beforehand. So that's always a part of the whole package once it is. So the contracts, the bid response, all of it, and the bonds are all part of the complete package that gets signed by everybody.
Okay. So in other words, on paper, let's assume they just really rock bottom this. At the end of the day, if they can't perform, the bond guarantees that this will be done for the amount that has been quoted by somebody according to the specifications of the project. Yeah, that probably is a good question for that's a more of a city attorney question.
So the performance bond guarantees performance. It may not guarantee performance by that specific vendor. The insurance, the surety would have the option to bring in someone else if they needed to finish it. But essentially, that's if they need to finish it because they have to meet that price. So the bond guarantees performance for the bond amount.
Perfect. That's what I need to know.
Just so I can be clear, we understand there's two streets or two sets of street panels, but this is a 3-year contract. So does that mean that we enter into a contract with this group for street panel replacement and sidewalk replacement over the next 3 years, or with options for each year?
Yeah, so this would allow us to use this concrete contractor for next year. We have all of our panels outlined and prioritized based on severity, but yes, this would allow us to use them next year, and if we choose to renew, we can do so.
And is that a set cost, or would they come back and bid each time?
That would be used as the on-call pricing that they provided in their bid.
So that's based on the price list that's here.
Yes.
As projects are added, generally the way the on-call services and bonding works, a new bond will be executed for the added amount. So there won't be any uncovered amount.
Yeah, this is actually not that different from, we do a lot of this in the private industry with price lists and sort of, we would call them blanket orders. So yeah, this seems pretty standard.
Just a quick question, and if this is a weird or nitpicky thing, but if you go through and you look at their company address and you type that in, it's a personal residence. And I don't know, maybe in construction that's normal, but for government work, is this, I don't know, is that something to be concerned of? Or is that normal? Because I went through, if you look through the bid packet, it's the same address as that's being listed for the person doing the surety bond thing as well. And when you type in the address, it's a it's a personal residence on the south side of 45. I was just curious if that's considered normally acceptable, or is that something we should expect?
I mean, it really depends on where they choose the office. What we leaned on is the references and the companies that they've worked for, and we listed the reference contact information in here. Like you said, the City of Houston has used them, MC Squared has used them, Platinum Paving has used them before, EHR Engineering has used them before, so some of these contractors have used this concrete company before and have expressed that they're confident and they can complete the work. Also, with this being said, the street panels are a smaller portion, sidewalks are smaller projects, so it's easily monitored and inspected.
It looks like they were just awarded a Tomball sidewalk project of $163,000 in March last month on South Cherry Street and Market Street.
I think the performance bond probably also provides some additional reassurance in that the bond company obviously is doing their evaluation because they're putting their financial situation on the line to ensure that this is going to happen according to the terms. So if that wasn't in place, I would definitely be concerned, but this kind of almost stands in the performance bond kind of almost stands in the place of a lot of that capability due diligence. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? I will say, in procurement, definitely seeing a bid that low compared to the rest it should raise questions, and I'm glad y'all brought that up because that is an issue that you definitely want to make sure you address. So I'm glad we got that all cleared up. So any other questions from council? If not, I would entertain a motion on this.
I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 2025-26.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All of those against? Any abstentions? The resolution passes unanimously. That brings us to item G3, consider Resolution 2025-27, adopting a safety policy and crash reduction goal in support of the Safe Streets for All program. Austin, please, City Manager.
Mayor and Councilors, good evening. As you're aware, we are working on a Safe Streets for All master plan. That is the first step in the process to be eligible for more grants for implementation projects. In order to be eligible for those projects, we need to adopt a long-term safety goal and demonstrate the data-driven approach and prioritize the decision-making. With that in mind here tonight, we're developing the safety action plan, including the infrastructure strategies, data analysis, and public input. One of the public input sessions was at Founders Day the other day. As part of the process, we need to adopt a goal of 0 roadway fatalities and serious injuries by the year 2035, using 2024 as our baseline. We will continue to prioritize safety improvements that are equitable, community-informed, and supported by the data. So the resolution here tonight simply sets that goal and keeps us moving on the process to create this plan.
Okay. Discussion amongst council on this item.
I am curious, what is the baseline right now?
I believe on the roads that we're studying here, I believe that is 0. Because we are not looking at US 290 because that's not within we can't make changes on it.
I thought that was the case, but I was almost afraid to ask. So I'm glad 0. That's what I thought. Any other questions, discussion? I mean, I know this is pretty straightforward, but just to be sure. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion on the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-27.
I'll make a second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All of those against? Any abstentions? The resolution passes unanimously. That brings us to item G4. Consider ordinance 2025-14, amending the general fund budget for fiscal year 2025 by $9,807.93 in expenditures for project inspection services on bond funded capital projects to be funded by a transfer in the amount of $9,807.93 from the 2024 General Obligation Bond Fund. Robert Bassford, Assistant City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The city has ongoing capital improvement projects funded through bond proceeds, including major road reconstruction initiatives. As part of these projects, inspection services are necessary to ensure proper construction oversight and compliance with design standards. Our street supervisor has relevant experience related to the conducting construction inspection services from prior roles and expressed a strong desire to continue growing within our organization. The responsibilities associated with project inspection align more closely with the role of a street superintendent rather than that of a street supervisor. For prior projects, these services were contracted out while the new supervisors acclimated to his position. Now that he has gained familiarity with the city's operations and infrastructure, staff believes this is an appropriate time to make the transition to bring this function in-house. Staff proposes proceeding with internal capital improvement project inspection services on a trial basis. This will be done by moving the street supervisor to a street superintendent position. The difference will be paid for by bond funding and would have a net zero impact on the general fund. This approach allows us to control costs while ensuring quality oversight is maintained. And this also gives us the opportunity to retain key staff by providing them with extra opportunities they're excited about growing within the city. If future projects prove to be particularly complex or if we encounter challenges with the contractor, the city still retains the flexibility to bring in an external inspection for support as needed. For past projects, these services have cost the city approximately $90,000 to $115,000 depending on the project and its scope. This gives us savings and could potentially mean more bond funds available for other projects that align with the scope of what the voters approved. The costs associated with the inspections will be allocated for each project each month, as the general fund will be reimbursed from bond funds based on the activity within that month. This role is separate from project management, which will continue to live with the project manager. This ensures a third-party perspective from the project manager and the contractor performing the work for the city. The proposal results in an increase in revenues and expenditures in the general fund, which will be reimbursed by the GO bond fund as it is charged to each project monthly. The annual estimated cost is $23,182.37, with an estimated of $9,807 for the remainder of the fiscal year. This work is already budgeted within the capital projects approved by council in the budget and will be transferred to the general fund to offset the cost of inspection. To ensure the utmost transparency, staff is requesting City Council approve to proceed with this strategy since it differs from past practices. This ensures transparency, compliance, and appropriate oversight of the city's financial operations, and our recommended motion is to approve Ordinance 2025-14.
Okay, thank you. Discussion amongst council on this item.
As a public commenter had mentioned, I think it's great that we're looking to promote within. I think it hits all the strategies that we'd want to do from an employment perspective, an employer of choice perspective. From a fiscal point of view, using the bond funds, I think that's wise, but at some point that bond will run out and we will still have a street superintendent. So is the idea when the bond is run out or we stop borrowing on it because we're done, this would become a general fund expenditure, or is the delta coming from the bond fund only, or how is this going to work? And if you said this already, I apologize.
At this point, only the increase is coming from the bond funds, and then we would reassess at the point that the bond funds run out. And if we determine those services are no longer needed, then we could either have the general fund absorb it or consider downgrading the position.
So the delta from now for the next 3 years, I guess, is coming. Okay, thank you.
Can I get clarification? It's a promotion for someone that is already here. This is not a new position and then leaving the old position open. It's not creating a new position. I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly.
Yes, you are correct.
I just want to make sure. Maybe it's different in government than private industry. I just want to be sure. So this is kind of like a promotion, but it's funded for a set period of time. And so if council chooses not to fund that position in the same manner in the future, basically the promotion is short term, right? I wasn't sure if that was common or, I mean, as long as they're clear on it, I think everyone's good, but it sounded weird to me.
That's actually why I asked the question I did, because I was like, I'm wanting to verify.
No, so yeah, this would be a short-term one. You know, if we get to 3 years down the road and we feel like the title and the workload can be justified at that point as part of the regular budgeting thing, we'll bring that to council at that point in time.
Okay. I mean, as long as everyone's understanding on what's happening, I'm good with it.
I will say, as encouragement for the role, there are a lot of streets and everything to be redone. And so supervising and superintendenting probably isn't going to go out of style anytime soon. And at the rate that we're saving annually, it looks like, for that supervision, it's wise to bring it in-house. So I'm glad you guys did the due diligence on the way that works.
So would this maybe, if we were even thinking down the line a little bit, would this eventually sort of, I don't know how to put it, but I guess could this turn into a bigger role as far as getting our current, what is it, project surveillance? Who does our?
Yeah, that's the company that's done it for us this last time.
I mean, could this possibly phase them out?
Correct.
And this one's.
I'm just saying, so you're replacing the costs that you're already incurring with a third party in-house.
That's what I'm understanding
Correct.
as well.
And you're likely saving money, even though you would, potentially be promoting and paying this individual more. You're still costing the city less because you're not having to pay the third-party fees.
Right. Well, and I guess and this is my ignorance, but I guess with the surveillance, I wasn't thinking on a project basis. I guess I was just thinking kind of in a contract or annual basis. So.
No, for them, we've used them on a contract basis for each project.
And with this, I guess this would start with street panels as well as the Australia Solomon project. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Unless anyone else had any other questions or comments?
I'll go ahead and motion to approve ordinance number 2025-14.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? It's all good. Seeing none, all those in favor? All of those against? Any abstentions? The ordinance passes unanimously. And that is the end of our regular agenda. Austin, my understanding is that the event that we were anticipating would be necessary in order to justify an executive session did not occur. Is that correct?
Correct.
Unless anyone on council objects, there doesn't seem to be any good reason to have an executive session. I know how much y'all love the rigmarole of going back and meeting in the smoke-filled back room, but
not unless there's snacks now. No,
I think that okay.
There's never snacks back there.
So unless there's objection, we are going to we'll just move then to mayor and council comments with the understanding that adjournment will happen afterwards. So then I will start down on this end with Councilmember McCray.
I really just wanted to say kudos to everybody, city staff, for working for Founders Day. It was absolutely incredible. Really had a good time. Everyone in my family enjoyed it. It was a great event.
Councilmember Rossi.
Okay, I have a little list. Congratulations, Isaac, Officer Isaac Gonzalez. I guess he's not here. Thanks to Parks and Rec. You had just mentioned that for the Founders Day. It was fun. Thank you, JVPD and our fire department, again, for all your hard work and dedication, and the grant. Thank you for writing that. Reminder that early voting is quickly approaching. April 22nd, Election Day is May 3rd. I got a chance somebody mentioned the women's group this evening. I actually got a chance to visit, and I figured I would bring that up. JV Women's Group. I encourage you to join. It's $25 a year to join, right? Also, thank you, Mayor Warren and Councilwoman Shepard, for your service to our city. Your leadership has made a lasting impression. I didn't call you Shep this time. And I'm truly grateful, so thank you. You still have to show.
Great. Councilmember Wasson.
Happy birthday. Okay, I'll take two. Happy birthday, Jersey Village, 69 years. And happy Easter, happy Passover. And on those jubilatory newses, property tax notices will soon come out. So if you feel your house is overvalued compared to your neighbors or compared to the market, please go protest. And then to echo some other sentiments, on my left and on my right are two of the finest public servants you will ever see. The city is better for having them. And so, Councilmember Shepard and Mayor Warren, thank you very much for all your service and for all you've taught me in terms of being a better servant and council member. And I think I'm tearing up because them leaving means I'm the longest tenured person on council. So, yeah, anyway, maybe later. So anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.
For a little bit. Councilmember Shepard.
I will just like to continue the thank yous to city staff for an excellent Founders Day, and also thank you to all of the volunteers that were out there. We can't, it takes a village, literally, to do all of this. So really appreciate the time and the talents that folks put in to this community. I would like to applaud Mr. McCauley for his idea for the crowdsourcing and bringing a solution to council versus trying to figure out why decisions were made and who made them, because that ship has sailed and we just need to move forward and work together as a community to come up with the right answer. And, you know, we as council are often limited in the mechanisms that we have to do those things. And citizens have a lot more leeway to be able to come together and do things kind of outside the box or think outside the box. So appreciate your willingness to do that, and appreciate the rest of the community standing behind him and helping us push this forward. So, and then just want to say thank you to everyone for allowing me the honor of being a council member for 12 years now. It's been fun, I think, maybe. Definitely this past year has been probably the most challenging of the time that I've been on council. But I definitely say that I have thoroughly enjoyed this group of council members, even though we don't always agree on things. No, we don't always agree. We do all have the city's heart near and dear to our own, and I'm appreciative of all that you do and continue to do as city council members and mayor.
And Mayor Pro Tem Mitchum.
Well, don't be a stranger. I mean, James got off and he's been in the crowd every single time. So, I mean, not that the bar is there, but the bar is there. Bobby, you've taught us a lot. You've allowed us to come over to your house and ask a bajillion questions with my dogs and children in tow. And I will definitely miss your banter up here. Sherry, we have a lot of quiet conversations over here. And if I can say one thing about Sherry, she taught me to have more of a tough skin up here and just let things roll off. Your first year up here is a little bit tough, and then after you get the groove, it's really, really, really fun to be up here. I will agree. This little group, like, we do not agree on a lot, but we highly respect each other, and we treat each other with a lot of dignity and respect. And so I look forward to whoever is up here again, including myself. I don't know, maybe I'll be in the crowd watching you guys. Election time coming up. Please exercise your right to vote. And then also to piggyback off citizens' input, you guys got breakfast at Jersey Village Meadow, so like the crowd, I don't know, not funding, but crowd sourcing, yes, of what you really want and having a voice has been, I will say, in the last couple months so positive, and I love that trajectory, so let's keep it rolling that way. And I think that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, I will keep my comments short because I'll have plenty of opportunity next meeting to blather on and be long-winded yet again one more time. But thank you all for your kind words. Yes, this is my last full meeting. I'll get a little short time before James comes up here and gavels in and does his thing, which I'm looking forward to. So thank you all. So I appreciate it very much. Definitely want to echo the comments about the job that city staff did with Founders Day. It was phenomenal. Really, I mean, I get the feeling at this point it's like they've got it the routine locked in. They really are doing a fantastic job. So thank you all, and thank you to all the volunteers who help with that as well. So yeah, that's it. We don't have an executive session, so we'll leave it at that. And meeting adjourned.